Hey guys, what's up? It's Adam here. I can't see the guy. I kind of want to get this review all rant out of the way because I've reviewed all the Friday the 13th movies, apart from the remake and apart from Freddy vs. Jason, which will more than likely come in the future. But starting from number 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 onwards, now up to Jason X, which came the year of 2002. In the US, I believe it came out in the year 2001 in Spain. I'll just double check on that. It came out November 15th of 2001 in Spain and was officially released in the United States of April 26th of 2002. It's an American science fiction slasher film directed by Jim Isaac and written by Todd Farmer. And it is the 10th installment into the Friday the 13th franchise. I tried watching it again today. I'm sorry, guys, I just can't get into this movie. I love Friday the 13th. You know, I admit along the way there's been quite a few movies that have had some problems. There's been some installments that have been more better than the others. You know, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of problems with The New Beginning. I like The New Beginning, but I admit it's not one of the best entries. When we discovered that it was the paramedic who was doing all the kills, and there was a lot of things wrong with that movie. You know, Rick was the killer. He butchered Joey with the axe. You know, and he was arrested, and yet the paramedic didn't go after the kid who killed his son. He took his frustration out on all the other kids at the halfway house when they had nothing to do with his son's death. You know, so but I still like the movie. You know. Then a lot of people will say, well, what about Jason Takes Manhattan? Well, Manhattan, I can admit, has a lot of problems. But I can't hate on that movie because it was the first Friday the 13th movie that I ever saw. I still get a kick out of the scene where Jason kicks the boombox in the Times Square in front of those punks and then lifts his mask to scare them away. You know, which has a lot of problems. I mean, it shouldn't even be called Jason Takes Manhattan. It should be called Jason Goes to Manhattan. It doesn't really take Manhattan. I never understood why he turned into a perfect, normal-looking child with hair when he got melted in the toxic waste in the sewers, etc. But I could ramble on about all these poor entries in the franchise. In my opinion, not my opinion, the fact, my least favourite movie out of Friday the 13th is this movie, Jason X. Okay. Yes, I know people that wanted to see Jason in a new environment. Yeah, I understand that. But Jason's made it to space. Just like Leprechaun in Leprechaun 4 in space, just like Hellraiser 4 Bloodline with Pinhead. They usually say when they haven't got no ideas left for the characters, you know, they just put them in space. Well, I'm glad that my man, Freddy Krueger, as you can see him there on my arm, never made it to space, you know. But basically, it's a future film. It takes place in the future. Jason's been captured by the government. He's now on a spaceship. And they say he can regenerate himself. You know, when you look at Jason, you can see his ears, you can see his hair. You know, Kane Hodder comes back to play Jason yet again. And kudos to him for doing that. Although I'm not a particular fan of this movie. I liked him in Jason Goes to Hell. I liked him in Manhattan. I liked him in The New Blood. In my opinion, he is the best Jason. I like CJ Graham, Richard Brooker, and all the other people who've played Jason Voorhees. I've played them very well, up to a T. But I think Kane Hodder is the best Jason. And he is the Jason where I say I've enjoyed most of his installments that he's took part in, apart from this movie. You know. This movie, it's silly. Yes, it's in space, but it's a lot different things than you would see in a normal Friday the 13th movie. I mean, again, there's no gore, but there is one or two killings that I like. I mean, I have to admit, I like the face smashing scene, you know, where the girl's face turns to ice and Jason just grabs her face and then smashes it and it all smashes to pieces. I like the fact that they're trying to turn Jason Voorhees into this Rambo type of character when he's taking out all these Marines and all these people on the spaceship. But I don't know. I could not get into this movie. I can't. I've tried to like it. Like I said, I watched it again moments ago today. I know back in the day I really hated the movie, but after rewatching it moments ago, I don't hate the movie. I just can't get into it, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it's the most shittest movie in all of existence. That's taking it way too far. But it's my least instalment into the franchise, if that makes more sense. You know. I mean, Jason breaks free in the spaceship. He ends up getting teleported. By the time then in the far future, the Earth has become overpopulated, so people are moving to this new Earth called Earth 2. And Jason is basically causing this chaos and a big killing spree in space, basically. He's like taking on like all these Marines, like I already mentioned. I mean, the lead girl, she was fine. Like I say, she's no Adrian King or any of the other top elite girls in the other Friday the 13th movies, but she was fine. I'm not saying any of the characters were annoying or hard to like. They were just there. They're not terrible actors or anything like that. Fair play with Kane Hodder. He did a fine job playing Jason, but, throughout this movie, you do the one thing that you never do. When you're watching a movie, you watch it all the way through with no interruptions, don't take a piss break or anything like that. But there was times during this movie where I was pausing it, looking at my phone, messaging a few friends, forwarding the movie a couple of more seconds, then pushing play. I mean, you should never do that in a movie. But when you do that in a movie, something's obviously wrong. And that's why exactly what I was doing through with Jason X. I mean, this movie isn't even on for long. I mean, it's like 92 minutes. So the movie does go at a fast pace, but it feels like the longest 92 minutes of my life. I was not entertained by this movie. There was not a scene in this movie where I got off the edge of my seat. It's not a gory ride or anything like that. Whereas, like, Jason Goes to Hell, I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with that movie. But I, for one, enjoyed Jason X. Yes, it was silly. Yes, it went overboard with the gore, but I got a kick out of Jason Goes to Hell. At least with that movie, you can get a kick out of it. It's like a good, fun, gory adventure. But this movie felt like it had nothing. You know what I mean? It felt like nothing was there. I mean, why was he in space? Why did the government capture him? I have no fucking idea. I mean, around this time they wanted to do Freddy vs. Jason, but it wasn't working. I mean, Freddy vs. Jason came out in the year of 2003. But after the ending of Jason X, when Freddy pulled Jason down into hell, the movie was supposed to take place straight after that. But there was problems, and then they moved the movie to 2003. They didn't even bring Kane Hodder back for Freddy vs. Jason. It was played by Ken, Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason. But they say we have to make another movie in the meantime, so they come up with Jason X, where it takes place in the future. So, did Jason X take place after Freddy vs. Jason? Did it? No idea. All I know is it's a future science fiction slasher movie, but just wasn't my cup of tea, guys. Just wasn't my cup of tea. And, I could stay here and make excuses as to why I did not like the movie, but like I said, I've already explained, like, it didn't get me excited. It didn't get me off the edge of my seat. I mean, like I say, I only like one kill, and that was the face smashing scene, and that wasn't enough to make up for the whole movie. And it wasn't the best looking Jason. And to tell you the truth, when Jason turned into Uber Jason, Robot Jason, it was something out of Star Trek. And to see Jason in that type of way, where he's turned into a robot, it just wasn't something I wanted to see. I didn't want to know all that. I didn't want to know all that. So I had more dislikes about this movie than I did likes, and the things that I did like did not save the movie. So that's all I'm going to say. So it was one of those movies where I was just glad it was over, and I won't be checking it out again in the far future. If I want to watch a Friday the 13th movie, I'll watch The New Blood, I'll watch Part 3, I'll watch the final chapter. Hell, I'll even take Jason Takes Manhattan over this movie. That's just my opinion. That's what I'd rather do. But if you want to, what I want to say is, why the fuck would you bother watching this movie when you can watch those awesome classics? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to wrap this up there, everyone, and say that I'm glad this review's over. I just wanted to get it out of the way. I'm not sure what's going to come next after this movie review, but hopefully we'll get some more positive reviews. Again, it's not like the most shittest movie I've ever seen, but it's just one of those movies I just really can't get into. Not my flavour, not my cup of tea, and like I say, I'm glad it's over. You know, completely overrated this movie is. You know, a lot of people got a lot of kick out of Jason turning to Uber Jason. You know, they've even got tattoos on their arms at conventions of Jason X and things like that. I can't stand why, but again, that's their opinion. You know, we've all got different tastes, so I'll just wrap this up now and say thank God it's over, and stay tuned. Please leave a comment and we'll see where we go from here. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.